Hello, welcome back to Quantitative Gems. My name is Arden Thomas. You can reach me with any questions, comments, suggestions at athomas@syncom.com. Last time in Momentum1, this is version 2, we looked at J's momentum indicator, which said if the S&P is up in November, December, and January, the market tends to be strong for the next 12 months. And we measured that. We wrote some code that actually loaded the data, parsed the data, got the monthlies, figured out whether November, December, and January were up, and then calculated the returns. Our numbers were slightly different than the results Jay was showing. So why might that be? And what can we do? Well, in some of the earlier years, there are more market differences, and that may be because of the data source. But another variation may be from how the returns are measured. So what I want you to do is to go to your workspace and open Quantbase J1 version 2.workspace. And we've made a couple changes here. First, let's get our monthly data, and we can let's check our data, inspect it. Okay. Our monthly returns now are going to be a little different. Instead of from the beginning of November to the end of November, we're going to do the end of the prior month to the end of the month. So it would be the end of September to the end of November, which may be part of the reason for the differences. And that's really easy to calculate. I just say to this, my data series, data closes, remember, which gives me my closes. Let's inspect it. I have each end of month and the close for that end of month. And delta is the difference from the one before it. So we're going to do from the prior number to this number, and that'll give us our month returns. And let's see what that looks like. And those are the returns for month to month, from the end of last month to the end of this month. So then we're going to just like before, we're going to get our years, and we are going to see, okay, which years are up, and we're going to get it differently. This is the nice thing about Smalltalk, is you can calculate and change things since it's relatively clear and compact. Hopefully it's as clear, relatively clear to you. So we're getting, for each year we pass into this block, these are two temporary variables in Smalltalk within this block. We say the test dates are the dates. Select the dates that are for the year we want, and it equals November or December. That's the month index. 11 or 12 includes the dates month index, or it's January of next year. So the date year is year plus 1, and the month index is 1. So this gets November, December for the current year, or January for the next year. And then we get for all those dates, we get the month returns, which have, remember, the difference from the end of this month to the end of the prior month. We get the returns for those dates. Well, let's walk through some of that. Right with our debugger, we're going to step in to the year. We'll go through. Let's actually go. I'm going to put the cursor down here. Go to that so I can go to the next year where I have an actual full year in 1937. I'm going to say get all the dates. So let's see what our test dates are. November 30th, 1937, November, December, and January consecutive. Okay, that's what the test dates this returned. Now the month returns for those 3 test dates are right here. Minus 1.24, minus 0.55, and a small up 0.1399. That's the difference. So test returns data, that's these numbers. If they all satisfy, if they're all greater than 0, it's an up year. So if this returns true, if all these numbers are positive and greater than 0, it's an up year. So what did we get? Well, we got these years as up years. That's the result of running this. Now the returns, we get the start date just like before. It's the first day of February in the year plus 1, because we started on the prior year. Remember, in January is in the year plus 1. We got the last trading day of that February. That's our start date, or that's the month we want to start on. That's represented by that date. And then we want to get 12 months, so data from the start date. This will take the series from the start date and take the first 12. Better to walk through this and show you. So, our start date, February 28, 1945. Data from the start date, let me highlight right inside this and inspect the results of this. And we have from 1945 onwards. Then we take the first 12, that's our next 12 months. So the dates, February 28th, 1945, March 20th. So February through the next January is the 12 months for an up year. Remember, if November, December, January are up, tends to be strong for the next 12. So now the 12 months, the last datum close, minus the 12 months first month's open, divided by the start value, times 100, that will be our percent return. And what is it? 37.56. Then we're going to create an association between the date and the return percent. So let's run that. What does that look like? It looks like this. These are the returns. We can then print it to the transcript, which I did, and then showed it right here. So let's actually do that. We'll say do it. And we've got, whoa, there's my reason right there. I did not get the whole thing. I was going to walk through and see what the issue was. And we got our return results. Let's look at some of the latter dates, the more recent dates. So 2018 minus 3.99, pretty close. 23.9, 23.55, 17. So not spot on, but relatively close for a number of these dates. And again, our reasons may be data source, and we changed from the beginning of month measure to an end of month measure. Because as always, the devil is in the details, and that's one of the nice things about Smalltalk is that you can quickly change. I had just to rewrite a couple of blocks essentially here that iterated through to change the way I was calculating and reporting these results, and that was fairly quick. You saw it was fairly interactive, how I could just walk through the debugger and check and even change the code right there in the debugger and test my results. I like to say that Smalltalk is addictive because rather than changing the code and recompiling and then printing results, I can actually execute in the debugger. So I can come in here. Well, let's say, well, what does this do? How does this work? Well, okay, self last day of month. What does that do? Well, first day of month index plus the days in month minus 1. Okay, that'll give me the last day of the month. And we set our date to that. That's the number of days into the year. By the way, the date, February 28, 1945, is 59 days into 1945. I can get all my trading dates and detect all the ones that are less than or equal for that and get last. Why is that? Because I need to reconcile it, the last day of the month, with the last trading day of the month, which is what it found for me. Data from start date, so we basically find the index, we look into dates, get the index of that start date, that's my index, 207, and then we copy the dates and data from that index to the end of the data. Then I've got a new species. My species is let's see, we wonder what it is. Well, just inspect it. It's a CST daily series class, and we tell it new dates and data, and then we return that. And then we get the first 12, okay, which says, okay, is n, which is 12, bigger than my size? If true, I've already got the maximum I can get. I would return self. Or from get the first, okay, here's my dates. Got lots of dates, but I want the first 12. We can check that. Inspect. I've got 12 dates. There they are. And then I want myself, I want this daily series just for these dates, which if I inspect this is going to be, you have to come to the basic here, it's the 12 sets of data, 12 dates for this. So that's where you can get very enamored with Smalltalk. It lets you do things, get things done very quickly, get immediate results, and can immediately change your code. So you can inspect the results, change the code, save it and recompile that method instantly, and re-execute it and look at the result. If it's not correct, continue to fix the code. When it's correct, move on. Immediate gratification, and that's one of the great things about the productivity and the interactivity of Smalltalk. So I hope you enjoyed this. Any questions, comments, suggestions, please send them to me, athomas@syncom.com. Until next time, have a great time experimenting with quantitative gems. Thank you.